It happens to all of us, right? You're in work mode, you want to grind away. You're so excited for the future. You've finally destroyed the barriers to success. Procrastination, laziness. I'm ready. Just you watch, world. When I wake up from my slumber tomorrow, I'm going to... Oh. You sit down at your computer and your mind is blank. Nothing. There's a big grey cloud over the creative part of your brain. All right, well, I'll drink a coffee and, it'll start coming to me. But time passes, you've almost finished your coffee and you still have nothing. All right, fine. I'll go out for a walk. And by the time I come back, I'll feel refreshed and inspired. You walk through the door, you feel better. You sit down at the computer and once again, nothing. You grow irritated. All right, fine, I guess I'll go on my phone for a little bit. 2 hours pass and you found yourself in a death scroll of Instagram Reels. The best and most productive part of your day has passed and you managed to do exactly 0 work. What a disaster. This is pretty much the exact scenario which I found myself in just a week ago. So inspired to work, so ready to grind. Yet every time I tried to think of a video idea, every time I sat down to script a video, every time I tried to make a sales page, I continued to draw blanks. And after some careful consideration, I wondered why this was the case and how I could help ensure that it doesn't happen again. There really is nothing worse than throwing your morning in the bin. It sets a tone for the entire day. So while I was in this creative rut, I had 2 to 3 just really bad days because I couldn't set the tone of my day right with my morning work. I found 5 ways to both avoid and help break creative ruts, and I'll be sharing them with you today in this video. If this helps you, hit the like button, boys. It helps a lot. Let's get into it. Number 1, discuss your project and your work with a friend. Now, the reason I say friend is because they need to be invested in you, who you are, what you're trying to achieve, and your work. They need to have a general understanding of those things. You can't go up to a random person and start talking about your work and expect them to actually engage with you. A good friend, however, will sit, listen, and you can brainstorm ideas together. I found that talking about my work with a friend reignites my energy and my passion towards a project. It reminds me of the rewards I will reap once I actually complete the project. And not only that, discussing it with a friend will actually spark new ideas for your project as well. Talking about your work with a friend will replenish your motivation and energy towards the work. So sit down with a friend and talk about it, because I found that this helped me greatly. I sat down with my friend Jack, CEO of Testosterone, and talked about my work and also the rut that I found myself in. We spoke about ideas. We spoke about his work as well, which ignited my passion for my own work as well. And he also gave me a very good insight, which is actually going to be point number 2, which is read and watch inspiring content in your spare time. Jack pointed out to me that he found himself in creative ruts when he was not consuming content which actually inspired him. And then this got me thinking, what have I been watching in my spare time? I had been watching The Office funny moment clips on YouTube.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Every time I sat down with a meal, I wouldn't stick on Iman Gadzhi or Alex Hormozi, which are 2 very inspiring figures. I would just stick on some vapid entertainment. Now, sometimes, boys, vapid entertainment has its uses. The problem is, I totally forgot how important it is to actually keep up with inspiring content so that I can continue to inspire people through my content. What you choose to consume actually has a massive effect on every aspect of your life. Now, The Office is very funny. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, but it's not inspiring and it's not going to serve my cause. I seem to have forgotten the importance of keeping up with inspiring content to stay inspired myself. So next time you're sat down with your food and you want to put on a video, consider putting on something which will actually inspire you to be a better person, rather than vapid entertainment, Netflix, etc. Number 3 is to write down every idea that you have, including silly ones. Now, boys, new ideas are actually formed by a mishmash of old ideas. A new and brilliant idea is essentially 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 old ideas all mashed together into some sort of Frankenstein to create a new idea, which ties into the second point, because watching content which has already been made will give you a bunch of old ideas that you can now use to create new ideas. Writing down every idea that you have, even if it seems silly, is incredibly powerful, because you're actually giving yourself more tools and more weapons for your arsenal to create new ideas. Maybe that one silly idea that you had, which you didn't consider writing down, would have mishmashed with a different idea which would have formed a magnum opus. Who knows? You'll never know because you didn't write the idea down. Write down every idea that you get, even if it seems silly. Make them visible to you in a list. You can look to this list for inspiration. Number 4 is to change your environment. Sometimes, boys, your environment just isn't doing it for you. Maybe it's bland, maybe it's messy, maybe it's the same environment that you jack off in, maybe it's the same environment that you sleep in, maybe you play League of Legends in the same room that you're trying to write a book in. It's not going to serve you very well, boys. Sometimes a change of environment is necessary to spark new ideas and new inspiration. Here in Thailand, there's lots of beautiful cafes which I like to work in, on top of mountains overlooking the entire island, or on a beach so I can see the sea and the sand. Maybe sometimes just being around other people will help you create new ideas. It doesn't have to be as magnificent as these Thailand cafes, but honestly, just changing your location, even if it's to a very simple spot, as long as it's away from the distractions of your comfortable bed and where you know, oh God, and where you usually sit around and DOS and play video games, etc. I tried to do this for many years. I tried to work in the same room which I would play video games in and sleep in, and it was abysmal. There was no clear time for me to work inside of my own brain because I was still in the same environment that I relax in. So it was all just very blurred lines. Change your environment. And with changing your environment, you're actually inspired to go out into the world, look good, feel good, have a shower, get dressed. And to me, I found that my performance is very much so tied to how I look and how I feel. So go outside, look good, smell good, feel good, and go do some work. And 5th, you need to set small goals. So right now your goalpost is too big, it's too scary. You need to break it down into smaller steps. For example, if I was to break down one of my main tasks, which is to create a YouTube video, that seems like a jarring thing. However, if I start breaking it down, script a YouTube video. Okay, well I can do that. That'll take, you know, half an hour, an hour. And then another task, record and perform the YouTube video. Okay, yeah, I can do that. And then the final task, edit the YouTube video. I've broken up that one task into 3 smaller tasks, which is going to make it far more achievable. Also utilize work blocks. I do 1.5 hour work blocks. I work for 1.5 hours straight, no distractions, and then I take a half an hour break, and then I do another work block. I find that that's the most effective strategy for me personally. And boys, if none of the above work, then sometimes it is what it is, and the day is just a write-off. You've woke up on the wrong side of the bed and it's just not your day, man. Recharge and come back stronger tomorrow. However, if this is the case, you don't have my permission to sit around and do fuck all and feel sorry for yourself today. You can still do some productive things. Go to the gym, hang out with your friends, go for a walk, do some introspective work. Do anything productive, whatever's calling to you. You don't have my permission to just sit on your ass and do nothing and feel sorry for yourself. You just don't. You don't have my permission to lie in bed and death scroll TikTok all day, because tomorrow you're gonna feel 20 times worse about yourself knowing that you could have done more yesterday. Boys, my Video Editing Academy of Excellence is going to double in price today. This is your final chance to join the 200 students who have already joined at an excellent price. I'll teach you my pathway to financial and location freedom through video editing. You'll become one of the absolute best in the world at video editing, and you'll gain access to my network of the very best video editors that the internet has to offer. Check out the Academy right now, it's the first link in the description. Once again, it's your final chance to get in at a banging price. I hope this video was helpful. Take care, boys.